Okay, can y'all hear me? Everything okay? Oh, good, okay. As you know, when I'm up here in Vermont, it's always a search to find the right, connection, so today I thought I had everything all, worked out, and so I'm sitting over here on the picnic table in front of the town hall, and then it starts raining, so I have to rush back over here to the car, but maybe a little better because I'm close to the hay. Here we go. It's always a perfect day for let things be exactly as they are. All right. Hear me okay? The guitar and everything? All right, cool. Here we go. Let things be exactly as they are. You can't change me, and you can't change God. Let things be exactly as they are. You and me will live in peace. Well, I don't know anything is for unless I listen to that still small voice telling me this simple truth that everything is for my good. So let things be exactly as they are. You can't change me, and you can't change God. Let things be exactly as they are, and you and me will live in peace. I'm not this body that you see. I am as God created me. We are all one family, and it's possible to live in peace. So let things be exactly as they are. You can't change me, and you can't change God. No, you can't change God. Let things be exactly as they are, and you and me will live in peace. Kumbaya. And don't forget, we doggies. Oh my goodness. Wow, singing that song over and over, for years, and boy, every time I sing it, it has a new meaning, for me. And I was just thinking while we were singing it that Glenn used to get so excited. You can't change God. He would always say that. So anyway, here I am, y'all. I'm loving you, appreciating you, listening to you all through the week, even though sometimes I can't. The solution. There is a internet service that most people use around here. So next time I come up here, last May, I'm going to have them come over and install internet in the trailer. So we'll see, hopefully, after that, if I can broadcast a little better. But so much has been going on today, and um, I've been trying to listen to what y'all been talking about. I was in the car, Shauna, when you were doing your inquiry, and it was going in and out. But I was hearing, and then later I was hearing Anne, and it seemed like a train that we were on today was about vulnerability, and, boy, that's a place where I really am right now, and so I'm sorta like, questioning, like, first of all, like, who is vulnerable? Because in truth, I'm all powerful, so, like, this frailty that I feel, I'm like, "What is that? Is that my grief? Is it my, uh, just my ego, my humanness?" And in a lot of ways, it doesn't matter, it just ebbs and flows, but it's an interesting question for me because simultaneously, and I've never quite, I don't remember feeling this way or experiencing life this way before, but, um, there's this there's this vulnerability and sort of timidness mixed in with this joyful, powerful knowing of who I truly am. And it's funny because it just goes, I mean, it just does this dance. And actually, that just came out of me as when that just came out of me, the word dance just makes more sense than it ever has before. And I've heard people talk about this life we live with, um, here in this dimension on earth and knowing our truth and everything as dancing with God. And it's just now that I'm beginning to, yeah, have a have an experience of that thing that's more than just words. Well, okay. So I find that a lot right now. Our spiritual teachings, and you only are where you are, so you can only take in as much as you can take in, and you can only practice as much as you can practice, and I've been doing all of that, and now I'm hearing phrases and words the first time I've ever heard them. And it's so funny. I went to a church this morning down in the little town that's closest by. It's Brattleboro, and it's a United Church of Christ. And I like the pastor there. I've told you about this before, but uh, the simultaneous people are. I'm just getting to know people. I'm telling about what recent events and my husband dying, and then I was talking to this woman about how Glenn used to consider himself the sacred trickster. Like he even when he went through seminary, he took on this role as like the coyote or the sacred the sacred jester, those kind of things. And maybe you've seen him wear his little crowns on his head and things like that. Um, well, he really took that on in life. Uh, he was always quirky and funny and odd and unusual and all that, and so, um, I'm explaining this to this woman, and I start laughing, and then her friend comes by, and the woman goes to the new person that joined us, goes, "Yolanda's husband just died," and I was just in the middle of laughing, right, because I was laughing about, Glenn being the sacred jester, so I'm laughing, and she's saying, "Yolanda's husband just died," and the woman's looking at me like, why are you laughing? Oh my god. And it's just I find everything so, like, in this mixed bag of, states of consciousness or something. Like I'm in this state of then I'm in this state of consciousness. I'm crying. I'm in the hardware store. I'm bawling. Then I walk out and I'm full of joy. It's just the funniest journey I've ever been on. It truly is. I'm so glad that I'm sharing it with you. You guys have been my rock like through this whole time, and continue to be. And I love you very much. So, anyway, I have things I want to. Thank you, Shauna. I have things I want to share. Oh, and always anyway. Interesting. I am mistaken when I think I can be heard in any way. Now, I think when I read it this morning, the ego came in and I started um, feeling guilty because I was going, "But I am hurt," you know? But I am hurt." So, see, and there's and then I'm catching myself with all these I statements, this, addiction to the I personality, and the Yolanda personality and all this, and I don't know what to do about all of that. I don't think there's anything to do, quote unquote, but I'm really seeing I'm seeing I'm catching I'm catching uh myself in the personality. Um and that's pretty fascinating. So, and even the way English is so hard to I guess any language is really hard to describe, but it's funny because the little I, the big I, which one are you talking about? So who is hurt when I think I'm hurt? Who is hurt? Who is hurt when I think I'm hurt? Let me just who is actually hurt? Huh. Well, what comes up for me is something that's not real, something that's not true. That's what's hurt. Well, yeah, and then it goes on to say, "I am God's son, whose self, capital S, rests safely in the mind of God." So, in everything I see and everything I do, I am safe. I can't get it wrong, and I'll never get it done. That's that's what Abraham Hicks says sometimes. So, okay, truth will correct all errors in my mind, and the second review topic is lesson 108. To give and to receive are one in truth. I will forgive all things today that I may learn how to accept the truth in me and come to recognize my sinlessness. Recognizing my sinlessness, recognizing your sinlessness, recognizing everyone around me as sinless. Wow. Huh. I will forgive all things today that I may learn how to accept the truth in me and come to recognize my sinlessness. To give and to receive are one in truth. Oh, don't you love that simple truth? To give and to receive are one in truth. Forgiving, and I receive forgiveness. Forgiving God, forgiving my ego, forgiving Glenn for leaving me, wow, like forgiveness, extending my love toward all that I think is wrong, encompassing all of it, even if I think it's wrong. Uh, I'm gonna read from the Sufi Book of Life here in a minute. I heard Anja read this morning from the Sufi, so she's taking the class too, and it's just so enlightening. I'm gonna read from that here in a minute because this lesson actually reminded me of of something it says that I want to read in there. God accepts bad currency as well as good. And I thought that was good. I thought that was funny. The way the Sufi poet put it is that God accepts bad currency as well as good. That's sort of like my meditation on this creating a circle of love where everything that you like and don't like is included. So, so yeah, let's move into that part because I want to ask Shauna to play a video of one of my meditation songs, and then we'll do the circle of love, and I'll share some more things that I've been pondering this week. So go ahead, Shauna.
Just to say a day,
just to say a day.
Adani Yolanda Juga, 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 echo verse.
Juga, 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 echo verse.
Juga, echo verse. The knowledge of the universe is right before my very eyes. The knowledge of the universe lives and breathes and sings and sighs. Love that is life, the sacred mystery is here to guide me home, where my soul is free. A just to say a day,
Just to say a day.
Adani Yolanda Juga, 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 echo verse.
Juga, 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 echo verse.
Juga, echo verse. A just to say a day,
Just to say a day.
Adani Yolanda Juga, 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 echo verse.
Juga, 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 echo verse.
Juga, echo verse. All honor to the mystery, whose attributes cannot be described. No end and no beginning. The dimension of the limitless. Love that is life, the sacred mystery is
Aw, thank you, Shauna. So if you're curious what the Gurumukhi, this is a language is called Gurumukhi, and the translation is really what I sang in English in the second time around. It's all honor to the one, hail the primal being whose attributes cannot be described, who is without beginning, the unstruck sound, and whose form is one through every age. Wow. So let's take a moment and go into our circle of love. So right here, right now, in this awakening together sanctuary where we're all in different locations all over the place, all over the world. It's so incredible. And maybe later somebody's watching on YouTube all over the world. We are creating right now together a circle of unconditional love where everything that we like and everything that we do not like is included. And really, how could it be any other way? Because it's all here, whether we like it or not. So therefore, it must be allowed. Therefore, it's all sacred. Therefore, I extend my love, I extend my forgiveness to everything and everyone in this circle of love. That includes you and me and all of us, of course. Let's just take a moment of silence and let all of that sink in and feel the vibration of the unconditional circle of love. In the stillness, there is hope. It lights the way as I travel far to my certain goal of oneness with love. Blessed be, and so it is. Ah, goodness, yes. Well, feeling right in this moment so in place. Thank you for joining me with your energy. Us doing that together has truly grounded me right now. Thank you. And it's really beautiful where I'm sitting. I wish I could show you. It's raining though, so I have to sit in the car, but there's all of these mountains all around me, and I love it like this. The trees and the mountains all surrounding me, and I just feel so comfy and cozy right here. So I am in the Sufi class, and we're reading the Sufi Book of Life, and I'm loving this book. I'm a little behind in my homework, Cindy. If you're watching, I apologize. I'll I'll catch up. I'm going back to New York tomorrow, so I have all of my access in place. But for about 2 weeks now, really, I have been contemplating this lesson. It's lesson 45. The heart has no limits, and the name of God in this lesson is Al-Wasi. There are 99 names of God in the Islamic tradition. This is Al-Wasi. When you're guided to this pathway, take the opportunity to touch the part of your deepest being that has a limitless capacity to hold and embrace whatever comes into its orbit. Wow, that's quite an opportunity that I seem to be taking right now. Touch the part of your deepest being that has a limitless capacity to hold and embrace whatever comes into its orbit. Whatevs. Whatevs, kids. Okay, let's see what it has to say. This is so cool. The last two pathways, seeing and hearing with presence, led us deeper to a path behind them, increasing the capacity of the heart. This may be the hardest for most of us to understand. We know how to accomplish things. Oh, yes. I've spent most of my adult life trying to accomplish things. When we consider the idea of simply being, we may have the impression that this means being passive. We don't know how to do without doing, or how to speak without speaking. Now, I got stuck on that line for at least 3 days this past week. I'm like, we don't know how to do without doing, or how to speak without speaking. That's And I can't even tell you that I have a real insight on that yet, but what a contemplation that has been for me, to do without doing and to speak without speaking. Well, you can sort of, we do it naturally. I actually think this goes on to say that. But yeah, because think about animals and uh, how we love them and how we can communicate with them without speaking, really. I mean, we do speak. I do speak to my animals, but you know what I'm saying. And then how you can feel some, someone's presence or something about someone, without speaking or doing anything. So that's the only door that I've gotten into that, but I just love it, to do without doing and speak without speaking. Much of the Sufi path aims to expand our heart sense, a capacity that we often use without thinking about it. Exactly. This is how, for instance, do we know whether a person is telling the truth? Yeah. And why do children and animals seem to have a better sense of this than do adults? Right. Right. Well, we've been trained out of it, haven't we? The key to beginning this pathway may simply be need. If life calls us to a greater capacity to feel deeply, we have two choices: stretch or break. Now, me, I'm like, oh gosh, don't I already feel deeply enough? I guess not. I'm being stretched. Amazingly so. However, I'm not breaking, you know? I'm not. I just let the emotion come. I let it wash over me. And that's what I used to be so afraid of, is to let that deep emotion come, whatever it may have been, in the past or whatever. But now I'm just letting it come. And it washes over me and through me, and what is left is what is truly me. It's like, oh, it's a cleansing to not judge my emotions and stuff anymore. Oh, hmm. Now that's a life lesson. Anyway, I wanted to go on. um the student brings the need, the guide brings the capacity. On another level, it is Rumi that once said, bring to God even your dry, hypocritical, agnostic prayer. Since the one being in its infinite compassion accepts bad currency as well as good. That's where I got that from. This is from Rumi. The one being in its infinite compassion accepts bad currency as well as good. Now it says, listen to this, increase your need so that Allah can give you more. Increase your need so that Allah can give you more. Okay. I'm pretty okay. I have increased my need, and I am seeing an influx of love like I just like I've never seen before. It's absolutely amazing. It really is. Everywhere I go, people are so just lovely to me. All right. I want to read you this. Okay. So after that poem I just read you, the one being in its infinite compassion accepts bad currency as well as good. Increase your needs so that Allah can give you more. And then it goes on to say, even in this sense, even if we bring doubt to the spiritual path, we are bringing something. I love that. That sounds like Angelo. This kind of sounds like something Angelo would say. Even if we bring doubt to the spiritual path, we're bringing something. A loving heart draws love to, yeah, exactly. Yeah. The beloved can hold it. The 20th century British Sufi Irina Tweedy described how doubt helped her own process of awakening. And she said this: the value of the doubt is who or what is doubting. Yeah, it is always the ego. The little self is a covering on your highest self. The grace of the teacher will activate those doubts in you in order that you should see the light. How does it activate? How can you see the light better through doubts? That's a good question. Doubts are obstacles. To overcome the obstacles, you make an effort and you will progress. Truly. Sufis say, the devil is very useful to you if you overcome him, but woe to you if you don't. I love these guys. Oh gosh. So doubts are extremely helpful. Doubt is power. It is energy you have to overcome. It's like a frontier, like an obstacle. You have to jump over it. That's why, she says in quotes, my teacher said you have to write down all the doubts. It will help people. Now that reminds me of Regina and Anne. I was talking to Anne, I don't know, about something I was, oh, well, I know what it was. I was feeling guilty about having any joy at all since Glenn just passed. Shouldn't I be, just in just some horrible state? And I was feeling guilty for not being in some horrible state. And Anne was like, write that guilt down, write that down, write it down. I was like, okay, you're right. It does help. It certainly gets it out of it doesn't clog the wheel anymore. You can get it out of your system. So I've been writing stuff down, and I came up with a new song that I want to share with you. David's laughing. I'm seeing the little chat room. I'm going to see if I can open up the chat so I can see it better. Thank you. No wonder I've always struggled with love. Yes, a loving heart draws love to it. Yep. There we go. All right. So in this contemplation, I landed also on lesson 109 in A Course in Miracles. And it seemed, I don't know, all of this seemed to go together for me. But I'm going to read it. I'm going to read and talk about lesson 109. But first, everything I've been going through lately. Well, there's a song. There's a new song, folks. There's always a song. All right. Everywhere I go and everything I do, I rest in God. Everything I see and everything I feel, I rest in God. 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 Everywhere I go and everything I do, I sing with God. Everywhere I go, everything I see, and everything I feel, I sing with God. 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 Everywhere I go and everything I do, I dance with God. Everything I see and everything I feel, I dance with God. 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 Teach only love, for that is what you are, and rest in God. Teach only love, for that is what you are, and rest in God. Teach only love, for that is what you are. Teach only love, and rest in God. Everywhere I go and everything I do, teach only love. In everything I see and everything I feel, teach only love. Teach only love, and rest only love, and rest in God. Oh, yay! I'm glad you like it. Yay! Oh, yay! I'm glad you like it. That's been in my heart. I couldn't wait to sing it for you. Oh, Rana says, I love there's always a song here. Me too. Yay, thanks, you guys. Well, let me read you this lesson that inspired that song. So, lesson 109, I rest in God. We ask for rest today and quietness, unshaken by the world's appearances. We ask for peace and stillness in the midst of all the turmoil born of clashing dreams. Well, there we go. Sit that rest and quietness right in the middle of the turmoil of clashing dreams. Oh, that's a good place for it. Peace and stillness in the turmoil born of clashing dreams. We ask for safety and for happiness, although we seem to look on danger and on sorrow. And we have the thought that will answer our asking with what we request, and that thought is, I rest in God. I rest in God. I rest in God. And I've been singing that everywhere I go. Just, wow, just driving down the road, going to the store, everything. Just, I rest in God. I rest in God. This thought will bring to you the rest and quiet, peace and stillness, and the safety and the happiness you seek. I rest in God. This thought has the power to wake the sleeping truth in you. Yes, yes, I am willing, I am open to wake the sleeping truth in me. Yes, yes, yes. And I know you guys are too. That's why it's so fun hanging out with you. Has the power to wake the sleeping truth in you, whose vision sees beyond appearances, to that same truth in everyone and everything there is. Wow. Here is the end of suffering for all the world and everyone who ever came and yet will come to linger for a while. Here is the thought in which the Son of God is born again to recognize himself. I rest in God. I rest, accept, and trust. I rest in God. Rest, accept, and trust. See, I've been putting those two together this week too. It's just very comforting. I rest in God, completely undismayed. This thought will carry you through storms and strife, past misery and pain, past loss and death, and onward to the certainty of God. There is no suffering it cannot heal. Woo! I'm about to jump. There is no suffering it cannot heal. There is no suffering it cannot heal. So I rest in God. Hallelujah, y'all. That's just, oh yes, that got me. There is no suffering it cannot heal. There is no problem that it cannot solve, and no appearance but will turn to truth before the eyes of you who rest in God. Yeah, this is the day of peace. You rest in God, and while the world is torn by winds of hate, are we seeing that right now? I guess it always has been that way. While the world is torn by winds of hate, your rest remains completely undisturbed. Wow. This is great news. I'm like, now I'm reading it like it's for the first time. Again, I'm having this experience, It's, man, yours is the rest of truth. Appearances cannot intrude on you. You call to all to join you in your rest, and they will hear and come to you because you rest in God. They will not hear another voice than yours because you gave your voice to God, and now you rest in him and let him speak through you. Wow. Okay. In him, you have no cares, no concerns, no burdens, no anxiety, no pain, no fear of the future, and no past regrets. Woo, that takes care of it all. Okay, does anybody have any comment on this? That's quite a list, right? Like, listen to this list. In him, you have no cares, no concerns, no burdens, no anxiety. How about you, David? You've experienced anxiety? I know you talk about it before. I have too. My God, you should have seen me in my 20s. Woo, wee, anxious, anxious. Um, no burdens, no anxieties, no concerns, no pain, no fear of the future, and no past regrets. Yeah. Yeah. Let me just sit in that for a second. Wow. You want to sit in that with me? No fear of the future and no past regrets. Yeah. Yeah. I've been working with that, this very idea because the ego wants to tell me all these things that I should regret, and they're just silly. I mean, they're just absolutely not true in any way, shape, or form. However, have you, and I know you've noticed this because we're all observers of our of the ego and the I thoughts and all of that, but you know how slippery it is when like you know, the ego that will take you back to some little tiny incident that maybe you know, could have done better or something at the time or something like that, you know, had you known better or something, what a, and turns it into this loop of like, you see how bad you are, like, oh my God, wow. Now that's a trick that's been trying to come after me, but this one really, really stuck with me. In him, you have no cares, no concerns, no burdens, no anxiety, no pain, no fear of the future, and no past regrets. So I'm just claiming that. In timelessness, you rest while time goes by without its touch upon you. For your rest can never change in any way at all. You rest today. And as you close your eyes, sink into stillness. Like I always like to say, in the stillness, there is hope. Let these periods of rest and respite reassure your mind that all its frantic fantasies were but the dreams of fever that has passed away. Let it be still and thankfully accept its healing. No more fearful dreams will come now that you rest in God. Take time today to slip away from dreams and into peace. That's what's so great about Sunday. It's just like we're all exploring this same thing to slip away from our dreams and to live in the peace that is truly ours. You know, such a great exploration, and each one of us have a different way of accessing it, you know, and that's why I love to hear all your stories and all of your adventures because it's fascinating how we all access this in different ways. Oh, you know what? This is a beautiful paragraph too. Each hour that you take your rest today, a tired mind is suddenly made glad. A bird with broken wings begins to sing. A stream long dry begins to flow again. I feel all of that inside, like all of that as beautiful metaphors of what's happening inside. The world is born again each time you rest and hourly remember that you came to bring the peace of God into the world, that it might take its rest along with you. You came to bring the peace of God into the world. That's what we're here. That's what we're here for. To bring the peace of God into the world. Oh, nice. Okay. You rest within the peace of God today, quiet and unafraid. Each brother comes to take his rest and offer it to you. We rest together here, right here in this sanctuary. We rest together here, for thus our rest is made complete, and what we give today we have received already. Time is not the guardian of what we give today. We give to those unborn and those passed by, to every thought of God and to the mind in which these thoughts were born and where they rest, and we remind them of their resting place each time we tell ourselves, I rest in God. Oh, goodness. It just feels like an affirmation of the work that we do, within ourselves has just a huge powerful effect on others. And I know that, and I certainly have been experiencing that. And, your work really makes a difference in my life. So, as Glenn would say, I thank you for your practice. I'm going to do one more little quick song. And then we're going to hear David and Rhoda. Yay! But also, I wanted to remind you that next Sunday, May 5th, in this time slot, we're going to have our online memorial for Glenn. So I hope you can join us. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. I realize you think that I don't speak too clearly. You must acquire the patience to have ears to hear me speak your name. It's just the same as listening to the music on the radio. The frequency you tune to is high or low. It depends on you and the things you do, the way you spend your time and occupy your mind. Oh, take the time to free your mind. I know there's many questions that you'd like to ask, but you're missing all the love that comes across your path. So take it slow. Let the river flow. Feel the healing, gentle cleansing. Oh, take the time to free your mind. Free your mind. Everybody for joining. Thanks so much. And I love you. And we'll see you next time.